Welcome back, Post-Pollock viewers. Today's topic, it's a combo. It's misguided live streamers. They're even more misguided viewers, bad parenting, and how all of that translates to violence in sports. Our specific subject is a kicker, I guess we'll call it. It's a guy on Kick. Just so you know, by way of background, Kick appears to be the place where banned YouTubers and banned TikTokers go because their stuff can't be shown on the traditional platforms. Basically, if you get banned on Kick, you're just bad news. But there is a young man named Raja Jackson. He is the son of a guy named Rampage Jackson. Rampage was apparently a successful UFC fighter, now retired, and now has his own live stream. Evidently, as I understand it, training his son to be an MMA fighter. And they put on live stream their training sessions, and not just their training sessions, but for example, the father comments during the son's live stream about him, and some of it's kind of demeaning. I think he thinks he's toughening the kid up. He calls him a bitch and things like that, and it goads the kid. And then the kid, Raja's fans, do the same thing on the comments to his live stream, so it gets him all torqued up. That's your background. Then take it forward. He was at an event, I think it was actually a pro wrestling event, and he meets up with this guy who calls himself Syko Stu. The Syko Stu plays a little trick on him and takes one of those breakaway cans. It's a prop used for stunts and movies and things like that, and I guess pro wrestling, which I don't care what anybody says, it's mostly fake. And he, so it'll smash and smash away, and he hits the kid with it. They have a little beef, and then they sort of kiss, or they make up. And then they're going to wrestle each other in the ring, or something's going to happen, and you'll see what happens. Let's go now that I gave you that background. Let's go to the news story. This is the news version of what happened to give you an idea what's going on here.
This horrific, hard-to-watch attack has shaken the pro wrestling world to its core. In the allegedly unscripted viral moment, Raja Jackson, who is the son of UFC great Quinton Rampage Jackson, climbed into the ring during a match in Sun Valley, California, and attacked Syko Stu. He body-slammed the bearded wrestler, then pummeled his face more than 20 times, apparently to the point of unconsciousness. Syko Stu, whose real name is Stuart Smith, is reportedly doing fine and recovering, but the damage to Raja Jackson's career is done. TMZ reports that cops were called to the scene on August 23rd, and the LAPD has launched a criminal investigation. So what the hell happened? The violent, unplanned attack went down during a private wrestling event at Knox Pro Academy. It was apparently in retaliation to an altercation between the men earlier that day. Outside the venue, Stu had smashed a beer on Raja's head.
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little...
Oh!
It seemed to be setting up a storyline for the show. The two were later seen making amends on the live stream, but then things took a dark turn. And now social media videos have emerged showing Raja in a blood-stained white shirt and visibly seething with rage following the incident.
Pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the up. He's in the ring, flatline, bro.
My bad.
You didn't have to do all that. I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to take it serious.
I'll call you back later.
Raja reportedly tried to justify his actions, saying he was tired of motherfuckers playing with me and calling me bitch and that at the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my self. The wrestling organization Knox Pro condemned Raja's behavior on Facebook, calling it selfish, irresponsible, and even heinous. Raja's dad, Quinton Rampage Jackson, echoed this sentiment, writing, "I don't condone my son's actions at all." Rampage Jackson, age 47, is a former UFC light heavyweight champion who went 38-14 in his career. But now with his son's out-of-control temper, his legacy could be in jeopardy.
Okay, well, I thought UFC was where you try to harness that out-of-control temper and use it to your advantage, but whatever. I'm not sure if it was a scheduled match between Raja and this guy. It sounds more like he and another pro wrestler set this up that he was going to interrupt the match involving Syko Stu and come in and take him down. What was intended by all concerned, whether it was the wrestler helping him, whether Syko Stu knew about this and agreed to it, whatever the case, the beating that was delivered was ferocious and it was horrifying. I mean, this guy was actually hitting him as hard as he could in the face. Again, pro wrestling, I'll give pro wrestlers this, that they are incredible, they're great athletes as acrobats. Much of it is staged, much of it is fake. They will always say no, but anybody watching it knows most of the hits are not real. These hits were not only real, but he continued to punch this guy into submission, into unconsciousness, so that people were pulling him off. LAPD had to be called, and now they're investigating him. And so you understand, apparently Syko Stu was aware that Raja was going to enter the ring, so this was part of the pre-planned entertainment that was going to be shown. But what he did not know was that Raja was going to come in full steam and swinging as hard as he can and looking to hurt him. And it's clear that he did intend to hurt him. But we'll get into the legalities in a minute. Let's just watch a little bit of the lead up to this from the Raja Jackson standpoint and what was going on in his head and the influences that came in.
Raja Obama.
This is Raja Jackson, son of legendary fighter Quentin Rampage Jackson, and if you haven't seen the video yet, he got into some pretty bad shit last night. So to give some backstory to this whole thing, Raja was invited by his friend AJ Mana, someone who's wrestling on the card that night for Knox Wrestling. Raja even states later that he does not care about wrestling, that he's only here to support his friend AJ.
Yeah, AJ's Mana's on the fight card. That's the only reason why I'm here.
AJ takes Raja to the back to meet the wrestlers that he's familiar with, the ones that he actually knows.
As Presidente, I fucking hate you. I hate this dude. Worse.
And that's when Syko Stu decides to come up behind Raja, stick his belly out, hands at the hips to get some camera time. Raja, unfazed, not caring, just decides to keep talking to the dudes until Syko Stu decides to take matters into his own hands.
Where's the real McKill at? Where's he at?
You don't need to worry about him. You need to be worried about Syko Stu.
Syko Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's what.
Oh, you don't know it?
This is where things start to go south. Unfortunately, the dude was probably pretty drunk already, didn't know what was going on, and saw the camera and Raja and thought that this was some sort of skit or that Raja was another pro wrestler recording something for the promotion. The worst part about it being that this guy took one of these prop cans to Raja's head, not knowing that Raja was already recovering from a concussion that he got in light sparring from a spinning kick just a couple days ago.
No, I didn't go with my pops. How does my head feel? I'm still fucked up. I'm not even gonna lie. It's part of the reason why I didn't stream earlier. I was supposed to stream going to fucking paintballing with AJ. But my head was fucked up. I was throwing up and shit.
Folks, let's stop right there. First of all, if you know anything about sports and concussions, if he's still recovering from a concussion, he has no business engaging in any of these activities. Even the acrobatics and fake stuff that they do in pro wrestling is very physical, involves, even you don't even have to hit your head. It's the physical activity of your head, your brain sort of knocking around inside your skull. You're supposed to fully recover. You can cause permanent brain damage. In fact, if he's charged, maybe that's what he can do, is get an expert witness to come in and say, he was not himself. He was acting abnormally because of a concussion. He had post-concussion syndrome, short-term, long-term, I don't know. But if he's had concussions, and I'm sure a lot of these guys get them, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. So let's fast forward a little further ahead to where we see that's his perspective of what's going on. And let's fast forward a little further to see what some of the people say to get him to where does a lot more than just go in and put on a show.
Interruption for Raja on Stu's match. AJ comes over and lets him know the game plan and tries to explain what went on with Stu.
I was in the swing.
No.
What he thought was he was a pro.
I understand.
Yeah, another thing is, even when we are working like that, you don't fucking You know
That's
what I
what I'm
mean?
saying.
But he doesn't
So,
know him like that.
He don't. He's a fucking idiot. So when you run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there. Tag his shit, bro.
After being given the go-ahead to give this guy his receipt, Roger's on go mode for the rest of the night.
I'll get it to hey. As long as I get my lick back, I'm straight. I'm straight.
This is kind of the turning point in the night as Roger gets time to chill out and kind of think about everything and gets rage baited by all the comments in the stream.
This nigga got knocked out. I didn't even get knocked out. Why didn't you fuck that guy up? Cause nigga, if I would have done something, then they would have kicked me out of this shit. Then there would be no more stream today. That shit pissed me off, bro. It didn't even hurt. It just pissed me off. I know this shit's crazy.
All right, everybody.
This is like my
How's everybody doing now?
third or
I
fourth
gave you guys a
stream.
little bit of time to adjust.
Now, at this point of the night, Roger's dad, Rampage, got informed on what's been going on with his son on his kick stream through the comments.
I'm watching stream. I'm watching my son's stream. Where the fuck? Oh, he at the pro wrestling thing. He at a pro wrestling event. Let me call my son. Yeah,
A little
he
bit
at
of
the
time
pro
to
wrestling
adjust.
event. Around,
A little bit of time to
around
act
fucking
a little
dudes.
late,
Men in tights
right?
and shit.
I'm also
I looked at his stream.
sorry.
No,
I've
it's
got
too
to
loud.
apologize, right?
Hey,
Yo,
Because when I mentioned
did
the
you get
thing
jumped by a
with
bunch of
me,
dudes in tights,
I didn't
nigga?
even tell
You
you
said
where
what?
the tickets.
Did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights?
no,
Why didn't you tell me?
no.
You were
You gotta,
recording
you
me
gotta.
the
Do
whole
I need,
time. You didn't tell
do I
me
need to
stupid or
send my
fair.
goons over there?
No.
This is crazy. I thought we were a family, y'all.
Did
What is going on
your coach
right
take care of
now? I
everything?
apologize. So let me put
Yeah,
y'all
I'm
in the right
straight.
direction.
You straight. I looked at your stream because my chat was going crazy, and then by the time I popped in your stream, you was hugging on a dude in some damn tights.
Man,
The
shut
two
the fuck up.
nice ladies that were
Man, you shut the
taking
fuck
the
up.
tickets
I
right
looked at
up
your
front.
stream, nigga. You
That's
hugging on
where
some
you
dudes,
get your
some
50-50
booty shorts.
I wasn't fucking
So
hugging on
if
nobody.
there was any
Fuck out.
I saw you, nigga. I saw you hugging on your
you
coach.
have some
nigga.
sexual
outside
fantasies. You
of
need to
this
stop that
little
shit.
room,
No, I don't got no sexual fantasies, nigga. I got some eyeballs. I saw you.
Making shit up.
I ain't make nothing up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, was you not around a bunch of dudes with
Well, I
some
like
damn
it 'cause he was-
the
I'm at a
thunder
fucking
on?
pro wrestling show.
Oh, you're the pro wrestling show.
He wants to be mama right here. That's my
Nigga, I
mama.
thought you
y'all.
was a
Raise your
motherfucker
hand, that's my mama.
at a baby
She
award
is the
show,
one
nigga.
who
Everybody
told
was
me
all
I'm not gonna
listening
say
to
I
shit.
ripped the whole thing. But
All right,
if
long
I
as you
have
say.
it tonight, you never know. Y'all keep playing
All right,
with me and I'm going right ticket.
Nah.
So get over there.
Okay, so you saw him sort of reviewing the comments that are coming in on his live stream, and then his father, I saw you hugging on some guys in booty shorts, which I thought was a little amusing when you actually see what those pro wrestling outfits look like. But the fact is that the live streamers and his dad are basically, I think the commentator rightly called it, rage baiting. They're getting this guy torqued up beyond belief. And sure enough, he goes out in the ring for this pre-planned little show, but it's not what the people in pro wrestling expect. He goes after this guy, Syko Stu, and goes psycho on him. He beats the living tar out of him. Now, legally speaking, this raises an interesting area of the law, and that is either criminal or civil responsibility for injuries caused during sporting events, and particularly contact sporting events. I can't go into a boxing ring and sign up for a boxing match. A guy knocks me out, causes me a concussion, and say, I didn't expect this guy to come hitting me in the head with his gloves on. Of course I can't, because that is what you sign up for. It's almost it's sort of a hybrid of the idea of implied consent. You impliedly consent to getting punched in boxing, and that it gets physical. It's the same. There have been lawsuits in pro football with excessive force on hits. And it's always a judgment call, but generally speaking, the rule is you can't be held criminally or civilly responsible for some injury you cause when you're playing a sport within the, let's say, the expected conduct in the game. NFL, pro football, even high school football, there's a lot of hitting. You're supposed to hit people. Now, they've changed the rules over the years to make it less impactful, but as long as you're playing within those rules, and even if you get a penalty or you go beyond, you have to go well above and beyond the expected conduct during that sport. Now, let's focus on this. This is professional wrestling. Yes, it appears to be violent. Yes, people do get hurt. I think more of it is orthopedic injuries or back injuries, things like that from all the acrobatics they do. I mean, again, well, I think a lot of it is staged. To their credit, these are big guys, and they're doing all these aerial things and landing and punching and doing things, even if staged, that are very difficult. In this case, if somebody got roughed up during one of these staged fights or wrestling matches, if it was within the norm, I'd say absolutely not a chance. But here you see this individual goes into the ring, and there is no pulling of punches. There is no nothing. He goes in and beats the living tar out of Syko Stu. Now, the question I might have in my mind first is, did Raja Jackson know what is expected in that ring? I mean, evidently he's training as a UFC fighter, and maybe he was the one person on earth who didn't know that pro wrestling is largely staged and thought he was supposed to go after him. This guy AJ's getting him stoked up. His viewers, his subscribers, whoever is out there watching him are commenting on, and these are live comments, basically calling him a wimp. His father doesn't do any better. He's calling him a wimp and gets this kid whipped into a frenzy. That doesn't help any. And they're like, you got to get even. Well, he said, get your receipt. You got to get your receipt. And everybody who's listening knows what that means. Go beat him up. But the question is, did this Raja know that it was supposed to be fake? In an MMA match to do that, it wouldn't be considered criminal or maybe even legally actionable, because that involves bare-fisted punching to the face. As I understand it, in UFC, you are actually getting involved in what is essentially a street fight. So I don't know if he could be charged criminally. If anybody would be charged, would be the refs and anybody else who's responsible for ending things when injury is afoot or has happened. They should have broken that up immediately, and I didn't see anybody do it. It looked like another wrestler came in and stopped him. The question would be then, even if it was a UFC fight, which this wasn't, would sitting on his chest and continuing to punch him while he was out cold, would that be considered going above and beyond and outside the bounds of the sport? I put it this way, I don't think a criminal case on that score would be dismissed so easily based on what you see in that tape. He might be able with the jury get a beyond a reasonable doubt finding, or find that there is a reasonable doubt that would lead to his acquittal, but he really pushed the envelope in this video. He really went above and beyond. What would the charges be criminally? Probably aggravated assault. And then the question would be how much they could prove and getting beyond that reasonable doubt standard. Somebody had mentioned to me when they saw this video that it might be attempted murder. Attempted murder is an intent crime that would be very difficult to prove. You would have to show that he intended to kill this guy. I didn't see anything in the lead up or whatever that said they was going to kill him, but certainly appears he set out to hurt the guy, and he certainly did. So whether they prosecute him or not, who knows? Civilly speaking, from a civil liability standpoint, there are a lot of things that play in this case. For one, the Syko Stu, you could say, provoked the whole incident by hitting him in the head with it's a fake beer can. You really can't get hurt with it. But hitting him in the head with that, you could even say that the others, his father, streamers, and the other wrestler incited him. I don't know if you can really be held civilly or criminally responsible for inciting in that context. It'd be very difficult to prove. I don't even think it would get past what we call a motion to dismiss. I want this thrown out. They shouldn't even put this in front of a jury. But you could see where somebody could lay some moral blame on them for getting this kid all torqued up. I don't know if his fighting career is over. I don't know if any of that's true. I don't really follow UFC. I see a match every now and then. I know it's pretty rough sport. But there are a lot of things at play that could make it a little bit more difficult, maybe a lot more difficult to prosecute this young man. There could also still be a civil suit that would be a little bit easier to pursue, but the same considerations come into play, and that is you are entering into a sport where violence is expected, even if it's fake violence in pro wrestling, but you get enough experts in who would say this happens all the time in pro wrestling. This is nothing unexpected. Syko Stu should have known it. It was consensual, and therefore it doesn't go beyond the boundaries of conduct within the sport. Once you cross those boundaries, then that's when you can be held civilly or criminally liable. In any event, I hope Syko Stu is okay. I hope Raja stops listening to his idiotic streamer commenters and his father at times, because it's not, his father condones this apparently, but if you don't want it to happen again, don't get this kid ready to fight by using the old "you're a big wimp" tactic. I don't think it's working out well for the guy. He's going to get him. Actually, if he does that in a UFC match, maybe his opponent isn't going to fall down, lay down and die, and he could get himself hurt. In any event, I hope you found this video informative. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit like and subscribe, and please leave your comments. I always love reading them. This is Dave Epstein signing off for the Post Pollock firm. See you next time.